don't worry too much anymore about search impression share. In fact, I'm going to change these columns around and I'm just going to get rid of these. I'm going to keep these two because it gives us some sort of indication, but I'm not even bothered about search impression share anymore. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the PPC Cave with me, Ryan. And if you're watching this, Gene has probably just finished recording an episode on his own. I couldn't make it for personal reasons, nothing to worry about, but I didn't want him to kind of just leave him to it. So I thought I'd record this as well. So what am I going to be talking about today? And if you listen to, I think it was last week's episode, maybe the week before, I was talking about search impression share and how everything I know about search impression share in the last few weeks has kind of like gone to pot, basically. Like, it doesn't make any sense anymore. And I will show you what I'm talking about exactly. So let me put myself in the corner here. And this was a client of mine in the plumbing niche here in the UK, and we were absolutely smashing it. As you can see here, 8% conversion rate. We had a few issues. I think I might have mentioned this to you guys before in the last episode, but we had a few issues with conversion rate there. We weren't tracking a few phone calls, a few lead forms. So that conversion rate is probably 2% higher, maybe a little bit more, closer to 12%, give or take a few. But we're working on the data that we have, and we're seeing an 8% conversion rate. Now, bear in mind, plumbing, as we know, is arguably one of the most toughest niches to advertise on Google with. Not to mention that this client had £40 per day to spend. So in that niche, like clicks, if you were bidding on phrase match, exact match, a single click could be like £30, £40, and then your whole budget is completely gone in one click. So when the client came to me and said, I've got £40 per day to work with, I was thinking that's not enough. That's nowhere near enough. We need at least 10 times that, because ideally we want to get 10 clicks per day. And if a click is costing like £40, we want to be somewhere closer to £400. Now, it could be different. It could be different for whichever location the client is in, what their service area is, all these different factors, how many competitors there are, this, that, and the other. But the main thing here is that we always want to aim to get about 10 clicks a day. So whatever the daily budget is, whatever the average cost per click price is that you're seeing in Keyword Planner, you kind of want to times it by 10 to say, well, this is how many clicks we're going to get per day, 10 clicks, and then this is your daily budget. So yeah, £40 a day was not enough. And then if I go in here as well and show you, this guy also wanted to do different locations on top of that. You see here, Bristol, Cardiff, Gloucestershire, Herefordshire, Newport. So not only do we have £40 per day that we're going to advertise with in one of the most competitive niches that there is out there for Google, but he also wants to advertise in like 3 or 4, 5 different locations. So that was just absolutely crazy to me. And yeah, so I'm kind of getting a bit carried away in terms of what the video is about. But the point is that this was just not enough budget. And how do I know that? Because when we look over here, you can see search impression share is 12.36%. We're barely showing up for any search that happens. 12% of the time we show up. Whenever anybody searches for any of the keywords we're bidding on, 12.36%, 12.36% of the time we show up. 62% of that is because we're not bidding high enough. We're not bidding aggressive enough. And we know that because, we only have £40 per day to work with. So we can't bid aggressively because we'll run out of budget. Our search loss due to budget is 25%. Why is that so low? Because we're bidding as hard as we can at £40 a day. So we're actually losing most impressions searches due to not bidding high enough. If we increase the budget by 25%, then maybe we'll get a few more impressions, but ultimately we'll still lose out on the bid because we're not bidding high enough. You can see here 60% of the time, though, we were showing up top 4, which is pretty good. 20% of the time in like the top spot, 21% of the time you could say there. But if we were just looking at search impression share, search lost impression share due to rank, and search lost impression share due to budget, well, then you'd say, well, this isn't a successful account. This is terrible. Like, what's going on? But when we look at the actual data, like a lot of impressions, a fairly low click through rate. I think I spoke um, in that episode about maybe click through rate could be something to look at, and it's a good indicator of how relevant your ads are to the people searching for them, of course. But these are the metrics that I'm going to be focusing on now going forward, and that I urge you guys and encourage you guys to focus on if you haven't already. Don't worry too much anymore about search impression share. In fact, I'm going to change these columns around and I'm just going to get rid of these. I'm going to keep these two because it gives us some sort of indication. But I'm not even bothered about search impression share anymore. And I don't think you guys should either. We're in 2025. There are so many different, like, the old strategy of, let's have 60% search impression share and let's cover all search bases and things like that, means that obviously, that's what would have worked 2 to 3 years ago, in 2021, 2022. You know Going after 60% search impression share would have been really good. But now it's a case of, match types have changed, bidding strategies have changed, and we have to kind of go with the flow. So to see a £5 cost per click in plumbing, which is again one of the most difficult niches to advertise in, that's really good in my opinion. So pat on the back for me, right? £62, £63 cost per conversion, I think is really good as well, with an 8%, probably a little bit more than that, maybe 9-10% conversion rate, I think is really, really good. So what is the point of this video? The point is that I don't think you should worry too much about impression share anymore. I think you should just focus on conversion rate, cost per conversion, average cost per click, and CTR. These are the new metrics I'm going to be going forward with and monitoring to determine how successful a campaign is going. These are the levers, these are the buttons I'm going to be pressing to try and improve the quality of my campaigns and generate more conversions. So if I see that conversion rate is low, for example, I know that potentially there's something wrong with my offer, or there's something wrong with the landing page that I need to take a look at. If the cost per conversion is too high, well, then what can we do to reduce that? Am I bidding too aggressive? Is the bidding strategy just getting away from me? But then again, if I convert more, if I improve stuff on the landing page, if I look at my offer again, then that cost per conversion is going to reduce because I'm converting more frequently. Average CPC is a good indicator of, okay, are we overspending on the market? Are we overbidding, bidding too aggressively, or are we underbidding? And then that can throw into obviously click-through rate. Are we advertising to the right type of people who are searching for the right type of stuff? Of course, this is in relation as well to our search terms report. So you got to check your search terms report to make sure that you're showing up for the right type of searchers, that you're not just wasting your budget. So these are the new columns I'm going to be focusing on, which it's not like I've not been focusing on these columns before, and I'm sure you guys haven't anyway. I'm sure you guys always monitor click-through rate, average cost per click, conversion rate, cost per conversion. These are the staples. But before, where I'd led search impression share to make my decision making, now I'm actually just going to go back to basics and focus on these 4 metrics: click-through rate, cost per click, conversion rate, and cost per conversion. Obviously, this cost per conversion, if you're in e-commerce, could change to return on ad spend, and that can help decision making as well. But yeah, I think if you're an advertiser, if you're a Google Ads account manager that is still focusing and making decisions based off search impression share, search loss due to rank, search loss due to budget, I would urge you to switch to click-through rate, cost per conversion, conversion rate, and average CPC, and allow those metrics, those columns, to inform your decision making going forward to improve the quality of your campaigns to generate more results for better success. I'm going to leave it there, but this for me is, I wouldn't say groundbreaking information, but to say that the majority of my accounts have been focusing so much on search impression share, now that I've come to 2025, I'm starting to reevaluate how I manage my accounts to try and be more efficient, to get more results, and ultimately scale my clients' accounts. So, gonna leave it there. If you've got any questions, as always, feel free to message the channel, the PPC Cave at gmail.com. I think Gene says we always have an episode out every Monday, so stay tuned for that. And we're being super active now on the socials, which is really good to see. We're getting a better following as well. So appreciate all the love, all the support everybody's giving us. And we'll be back soon with a new episode. So stay tuned and look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care, guys.